echo in your brain. You know you can't sustain the misconceptions in your mind. One day you'll see for sure what all of this was for. Then you can leave it all behind. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos. In the beginning was found this thing that cannot speak. It's how we all truly learn. It's only ever attained when one lets go of fear. So don't let wisdom pass you by. The journey begins. I am the one, yeah, that will show the proof. I am the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. I am the whispers of the logic in your mind. I am an agent of the Logos.
Within Euclidean geometry and within reality, verticals are well defined. We all know what it means.
Let's park that one. I don't think that's correct, but if you can point me to the proposition in Euclid, then I'm happy with that. Let A and B be two intersecting straight lines on P. Again, this is an existence assertion. I'm implying that
it was there all along. How could I never have seen this thing that's danced all around? It wasn't until I left behind the things I believed that I could see things so clear.
Okay, let P be a plane. We're happy with that. Two.
Become the one, yeah, that will show the proof. Become the one, yeah, that is searching for the truth. Become the whispers of the logic in their minds. Become an agent of the Logos. Become an agent of the Logos. We are the agents of the Logos.
Welcome.
Greetings. And start anytime you like.
Right, well, if you're ready to go.
Well, I don't know if we wait till 4, but
I can put the kettle on, get a brew ready.
it's 15:59. Why let's go. First thing, can we all see?
Wait a minute, let me get you.
Right, can we all see the screen? Should it be full screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it. If
yeah.
I page down, can you see the new screen? The new slide?
Here it is. Still,
Is
here it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not changed, I don't think.
No, the screen has not changed. Original one.
Ah. Thank you.
Oh, there you go. It's changed now.
Now it changed, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing. I want to get it on full screen. And share. Window.
It's good, this good,
How's
isn't
that?
it, for this?
And if I page down to the next slide, can you see it's changed?
Just a minute. Loading up.
It should What can you see now?
You can see all horizontals are
Lovely.
parallel to
So
one
it
another,
works.
and yeah,
Good.
that's moving around. Yeah.
Right. So quick background, brief background. That is what I copied from. I think it was from YouTube. Is that right, Beb? I copied it from somewhere that you prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I discussed definitions with Bev at the Next Level server on the 16th of Jan, and we agreed the following definitions.
There was an amendment though to that.
There was an amendment. I'm just showing that, and the point is to say what I'm going to show is that using these definitions, it follows that not all parallels, not all horizontals are parallel to one another. And that is the proposition. So I'm going to demonstrate that that proposition is false. Just as another way of background, I gave two presentations before on this. One was a generic presentation. The first one aimed at a kind of argument. I didn't target anyone's argument in particular, though I think people could spot what I was getting at. In the second one, I kind of repaired the argument. I thought the arguments it stood just didn't work, and I still think that. So what I call the charity principle, where if something doesn't make sense, you try and interpret what the person's saying in a way that does make sense. Everyone objected, complained that I was straw manning. So I thought, well, this time I will take the very proposition we're talking about, which is this one. I call it T for T-shirt, by the way. And I'll take the definitions, and here they are, three definitions. I've labeled them, D1, D2, D3. Bev, are you okay with those?
A vertical is a line that is plumb. Yeah, plumb.
Yeah. It follows the and I've added, that's my extrapolation. It follows the direction of a plumb bob.
And horizontal is perpendicular.
Whatever is perpendicular to a vertical.
Yeah, perpendicular to a vertical is horizontal, yeah. And the plane of the horizon is that which all horizontals are parallel to.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, D3 is not very good as it stands because it doesn't define a unique object. It doesn't say what the plane passes through. Is it going through my head or my feet, somewhere under the earth, somewhere in the sky, center of the earth, whatever? But it will do for this purpose of this argument. So, shall I continue?
Yeah.
So, there's going to be 8 propositions, logically connected. The first is that P, let the variable P, or the constant P, in fact, or the placeholder, be a plane that is parallel to the plane of the horizon. So, is everyone happy that we can let something be something, like in that way?
Yeah, a plane parallel to the plane of the horizon. That's, yes.
Yeah, because we're saying there is an embedded assumption here that parallel planes exist at all. In geometry or maths, you have to, and in logic, you have to say whether things exist or not. And we're assuming that. We're assuming that parallel planes, or planes that are parallel to the plane of the horizon, exist. So are we happy with that existence assertion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like within Euclidean geometry, in reality, right?
Well, in geometry.
Yeah,
I don't know about reality.
Particularly Euclidean geometry.
We're talking Euclidean here. Oh, and let me just go back. Yeah, important. Geometry, and certainly Euclidean geometry, says nothing about plumb bobs or plums or vertical. There's no vertical.
Well, yeah,
there is. There's no vertical property.
Yes, there is.
Okay, let me just note that because I don't want to get down a rabbit hole here. But you're saying that the term or the meaning of vertical.
There's a vertical angle, yes. It is mentioned in Euclid.
Okay. It's actually mentioned, there's a proposition in Euclid that uses the term vertical, is there?
Yes, vertical angle. Pretty early on.
Angle.
Yeah,
it would help if we could, let's take that offline. It would help if you could refer me to the proposition in Euclid that actually mentions verticality or plumbness.
No, vertical angles. Similar.
Well,
it's a
right, but a vertical here is a line, not an angle, correct?
Vertical is an orientation, right?
Oh, it's an orientation.
Yeah.
A vertical orientation.
Yeah, for like what a vertical is, right?
Well,
Surely.
I don't know. We'd have to agree that in geometry and Euclid, the concept of being vertical exists. But let's not. This does
In
not matter.
reality, yeah, like within Euclidean geometry and within reality, verticals are well defined.
Okay.
We
well,
all know what it means.
let's park that one. I don't think that's correct, but if you can point me to the proposition in Euclid, then I'm happy with that. Okay, let P be a plane. We're happy with that. 2. Let A and B be two intersecting straight lines on P. Again, this is an existence assertion. I'm implying that on any plane, we can find two straight lines that intersect.
Yeah. Is there a bit of background noise coming from there somewhere?
There is. I hope it's not from me.
No, it's Captain Caveman.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
It's muted.
Sounds better. Right, 3, which is not an assumption, it's derived directly from 2 and from the definition of parallel. Lines that intersect are not parallel. Therefore, we can conclude from definitions that I haven't given here, but we all accept from Euclidean geometry, we can conclude that A and B are not parallel to one another.
Based on what?
Well, we said 2, that A and B intersect. Euclid defines parallel as straight lines that don't intersect.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting you.
You're okay with that? I could have actually said.
You're saying that A and B are two intersecting straight lines on the plane.
Correct. Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, all of the straight lines are lying on the plane.
All of the straight lines lying on the plane.
Yeah.
No, not all of the straight lines. We've selected a plane.
But any 2 points on the plane would be connected by a straight line. So the plane can be said to contain all of the straight lines.
On that plane, yes.
Yeah.
There will be other lines on other planes, but this plane in particular, which you called P,
Okay.
will contain lines. We'll assume that some of them intersect. In fact, we have to assume that. Then it follows that if they intersect. Sorry?
I'm with you. Yeah.
Okay, so you're happy with 3. All the logical steps to 3 we're happy with.
The lines, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean now.
Yeah. Right. 4. This is an assumption, but it's a geometric one. If any plane is parallel to the plane of the horizon, then all straight lines on that plane are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, parallel to the plane, I guess. Parallel to a straight line on the plane of the horizon. They're equal. Because if the planes are parallel, then you can't assume that all of the straight lines are also parallel, can you? Because like you've just said, you can have straight lines intersecting on the plane.
Yeah, but...
So you can't really assume if any plane's parallel, then all of the straight lines on that plane are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Is that the way you're doing it?
So we've got 2 planes.
A straight
one
line
is the plane of...
being parallel to a plane.
Sorry, say that again, Bert.
Are you having a straight line being is that what you're trying to get here? Any straight line in a plane will be considered parallel to an other plane that the line's drawn into?
I think that's right, yeah. So if any plane, you've got 2 planes here. We've got P, and we've got the plane of the horizon. Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
And P is, well, we don't even need to talk about P. We just got, if any plane is parallel, if any plane at all is parallel to the plane of the horizon, and all the straight lines on that plane are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Is that Saragaki? I've got him.
we don't need to know about, it's an assumption. We can ignore 1 to 3 entirely for the purpose of this assumption. It's simply a bit of geometry, two planes which are parallel to each other, i.e. every perpendicular on one of the planes is perpendicular to the other plane.
Yeah, there will be a position that you can stand with that straight line, and you will be able to look and you will be able to see that that straight line would be parallel to the plane. I think I'm with you.
You sure? Let's think of a box. We've built a box. We've done a bit of carpentry. We've built a box, and then you've got the bottom of the box and the top of the box. The plane of the top and the plane of the bottom are parallel to each other. If we've built it well, then I'll draw a line on the top. That line must be parallel to the plane of the bottom box.
In any direction, like you could go 45 degrees or whatever.
Yeah, anywhere you like. Yeah, exactly. And note that is all straight lines.
Because so the line is formed in a plane that is parallel. Right?
Well, that's the meaning of straight lines on that plane. Yeah. So are we totally happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah, the planes are parallel, so any straight lines that are drawn on the plane will be parallel to the plane.
Yes. So 5, and this is a derivation, it's not an assumption. So 1, we've said P is a plane that's parallel to the plane of the horizon. Number 4, we've said that if any plane, and this now includes P, is parallel to the plane of the horizon, then all straight lines on that plane are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Therefore, 5, all straight lines on P are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah, I think that's what we just said, isn't it?
Sure. I mean, it's just that is not geometric, that's logical.
Yep.
Okay, we're doing well here. 6, which we get from 2 and 5 above. So we've assumed, we've let A and B be two intersecting straight lines on P. So we've assumed that A and B are on P, and they're straight. So all straight lines on P, which will include A and B, are parallel to the plane of the horizon. Therefore, lines A and B are parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Yeah, as defined.
Okay. It follows from the original definitions, D2 and D3, in a slightly fiddly way. We could have defined those, we could have made those definitions better, but it's kind of obvious anyway. Lines that are parallel to the plane of the horizon are horizontals. Any line that's parallel to the plane of the horizon must be a horizontal by definition.
Yep.
Sure? Really, really sure? So, from 6 and 7, A and B are horizontals. It may seem tedious, but if you're going to do logic, you have to do it painful step by painful step.
Yeah.
Okay, with that. Right, from 3 and 8, we've assumed A and B are not parallel to one another. It follows from 3 and 8 that some horizontals, namely A and B, are not parallel to one another.
We just put two lines on a plane.
Yeah.
Or two lines on a horizontal plane.
Yeah. Do you agree with, I mean, that follows by logic. If you agree with 8, and you agree with 3, which is an assumption, no, it's not an assumption, it's a derivation. You have to agree that some horizontals, i.e. A and B, are not parallel to one another.
The horizontal planes.
No, horizontal lines.
On a horizontal plane.
Sorry?
On a horizontal plane.
Yeah. So these are horizontal lines on a horizontal plane.
Yep.
And we've assumed that they're not they're intersecting lines.
Yeah, and they could be squiggly lines.
No,
right?
we said step 2, let A and B be two intersecting straight lines.
Yeah, but it could be. You could have said circles, couldn't you? Like,
Yeah,
just
but
the
I
fact
didn't.
that, yeah, I know, but I mean, what you're saying there is that's the only definition of a horizontal line that you're going to accept on that plane. I mean, that doesn't
so
logically follow,
look,
surely.
Okay. Do you disagree with 9? Do you think it's false?
Well, you're assuming that the horizontal line being on a horizontal plane, just because it's straight, you can say you can have two intersecting horizontals. Well, they're on a horizontal plane. And to understand what a horizontal is to understand the horizontal plane, the orientation. It's not the line that's on the plane.
So you disagree with 9. You think 9 is false.
Well, in your understanding of a straight line, because like I say,
No,
you
we've
could
made logical
have said,
steps.
let A and B be two circles drawn on P.
Well, I could, but the argument I'm considering, we assume they're two intersecting straight lines.
Yeah,
Are you
but
saying we can't assume? I did ask right at the beginning.
We could assume, though. Can we assume circles? Would it make any difference at all if we said at step 2, let A and B be two intersecting circles on P? Would it make any difference to this, or other than to your argument? But other than, all of the other things that we say, would us saying circles there at that step 2 make any difference to the logical steps of the rest of the argument?
I don't see how that's relevant, so I'm not really interested in it. My question is this argument valid?
No, definitely not, because you could
It's
put
definitely
circles.
not valid.
You could put circles in at step 2, couldn't you?
Right, so how does that make this argument valid? A valid argument is when the assumptions are true and the conclusion is false. So you're either saying that number 9 does not follow logically from the assumptions, or you're saying that the assumptions are false. One or the other, which is it?
Right, at step 2, you've just set let 2 A and B be two lines, straight lines
Intersecting straight lines, that's
So
correct.
could we have put two circles there intersecting within the argument?
So are you saying 2 is false?
And then what you would do is then you would say circles are not parallel to each other.
Are you saying that 2 is false then?
Well, 2 is a statement, but I'm saying just because you put straight lines there, you're going to say at the end, therefore some horizontals are not parallel to each other.
Okay,
But wait a minute, those lines were just placed on a plane. I'm just asking you, do you think we could separate them and make them triangles or squares or circles or squiggly lines? Would it make any difference?
You're just diverting us from the...
It's not a diversion at all. It's a very simple statement.
No, I'm asking, I'm presenting, I'm giving a demonstration, which is either valid or not valid, sound or not sound. You have agreed with all the logical steps up to 9. You've agreed with all of those. You had no problem with them.
You were just placing straight lines on a plane.
So is assumption 2 true or false?
Well, you could put any intersecting things on P.
That's completely irrelevant. An argument is an argument. Either the argument's invalid, I don't think it is, and you've agreed it's valid. The conclusion follows from those assumptions. Or it's unsound, i.e. the assumptions are false. So it seems like because you think 9 is false, clearly.
Because you've done is you've assumed at step 2 that
Right,
two
so you must be
lines
saying-
can intersect,
right,
and then
so-
you're going to use that at the end
So you're now
to say
saying-
that two straight lines on a horizontal plane that are intersecting are two horizontals that are not parallel to each other.
Yeah, does anyone else understand Bev's point here. I'm making the very simple statement that this argument is valid. We've agreed all the steps follow. Although Bev sort of, when he saw step 9, he sort of thought again, I think.
No,
It
no,
isn't
no.
valid.
You've
So
turned one of
if
them
9
into
is
a
false-
perpendicular to a horizontal on a plane. And you've said
I think
two perpendiculars on a horizontal plane can be two horizontals that are not parallel to each other. That's is that where you're going with this?
Well, you can see where I'm going. You agreed to every step, and you agreed initially that assumptions 1 and 2 were not problematic. Now you find that 9 is false. So either you think the steps are invalid, but they aren't. They follow logically, or you think one of the assumptions is false. You haven't said which assumption is false.
Well, the assumption that you're saying that just because, like, if you get a piece of graph paper and you lay it down and you put X and Y on it, on that table, right? Do you call both of those horizontals?
No idea. I'm just asking you if the argument is valid and sound.
Absolutely not. You can't
Right.
have horizontals being perpendicular to each other, can you? On a horizontal plane.
Well, they're
Because
not,
I think you're
they're
missing what a horizontal plane is.
Right, so which assumption is false then?
The one where you draw two straight intersecting lines
Right, okay. So
on
I
a
can't
plane.
I've taken any plane I like, and I've said, well, let A and B be two intersecting straight lines on P. You're saying I cannot do that, correct?
Well, you can definitely do that, yeah.
Oh, right, so they're not false. So assumptions 1 and 2 we're okay with. Okay.
No. Right, you can definitely lay it out like this, right? You let a plane be parallel to that plane of the horizon. So you've got a horizontal plane, right? Laid out. It's there. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put like a compass on it and go north, south, east and west on that horizontal plane. Yeah?
No. How is that relevant?
Well,
Which
I'm just
assumption is
asking you.
false?
Are those the two straight lines
I
that you
don't
want
get
to lie on?
diverted. I'm asking either the
I'm
argument
just
is
trying
not
to get a
valid.
clarifier.
Either the argument is not valid, or it is valid and one of the assumptions is false. That those are the only two possibilities, and you disagree with 9. Therefore,
No,
you
I mean
either
this is your argument. Don't worry about me
right.
disagree. I'm just checking it over with you. If you
Right,
want
so-
to end up with the end statement saying that horizontals are not parallel to each other, I mean that's fine with you. I'm just trying to work you through the steps where you might have
I'm
made a
trying to
mess
work
up.
you through the steps. Again, if you disagree with 9, either you want to say the argument's not valid, or you want to say one or more of the premises are false. That's all. There's no alternative. So stop talking about anything else. Decide which premise you disagree with. This is logic. It may be my argument, but it's an argument. It's there on paper, on the screen. You can see it. Shall I leave you with this, Bev, and then we'll...
I mean, like, if that is that your argument that horizontals aren't parallel?
Well, there's a bit more.
Okay.
But I think you can see he is false because these statements are contradictory. They cannot both be true that some horizontals are not parallel to one another, and all horizontals are parallel to one another. Yeah. I think we agree those statements are contradictory.
Okay, so your statement would be that no horizontals are parallel to each other?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all. Look, read number 9. It says that some horizontals are not parallel to one another. It doesn't say no horizontals are parallel.
Just that horizontals planes are parallel to each other then, right?
Right, but you Right, you were very specific at the beginning that you didn't want to define. In fact, that was one of your criticisms of my second argument. You said, "Oh,
What?
you've substituted lines for planes." Well, fine. So I've left horizontals ambiguous. Anything a horizontal is anything that is horizontal, as defined.
Yeah. Parallel to the plane of the horizon.
Bev, can I leave you with that?
What
You
can
and your
you can you
friends.
not understand about parallel to the plane of the horizon?
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
all. That's all in the argument. Can I go now? And I'll leave you
Of course
with
you can.
that. Okay.
So is that your final presentation? Is there anybody else backing you? Have you got any other backing for anybody else on
No,
that?
no. Well, yeah, I discussed with a couple of mathematicians. Yeah.
Nice. Any?
Can I ask you a quick question, Beddy?
Yeah.
Have you ever worked through Euclid?
I have worked. I'm a foundationalist. I'm interested in the foundations of maths and geometry. So for me, the most interesting things are the first 40 propositions of Euclid, and obviously the axioms, the definitions, the common notions, and the postulates are of most interest for me.
Have
Does
you
that answer your
ever
question?
worked through Euclid?
All of it? No.
Have you ever got a pencil, a bit of paper, a straight edge, and a compass and actually worked through Euclid?
No. Have you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
You haven't.
No.
It shows.
Really? Okay. Okay. Any more questions?
No. I'd like. Fine, thank you very much.
All right. Cheerio. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
We are still recording. Anybody want to go over that?
Yeah, I missed it. Can you do it again?
Can you visualize it for everybody, please?
Can I visualize? Like I was saying,
Here's the thing. Can you do the whiteboard? Can we have a whiteboard and work through Bebby's thing and show how ridiculous it is?
That's a good idea.
I don't know whether you can on a whiteboard, because it's on the plane. He wants to imagine, like, if you've got a graph paper, right, on a vertical plane, right, on the whiteboard as it would be, and you put Y and X like you would imagine a graph drawn. Well, he imagines that those two lines would be on the vertical plane and therefore both called vertical.
What?
Yeah. The X and Y on the vertical plane on the whiteboard, he would assume they are both X and Y. And then say, well, both of those are vertical on the vertical plane. Therefore, not all verticals are parallel because they're intersecting.
Makes no
He
sense.
just drew a cross on a piece of paper. That's what he did.
Yeah.
And
Drew
said,
across,
look,
said,
yeah,
yeah, these two lines aren't parallel.
that's it. That's all he did. He drew a plus sign on a paper.
And he tried to tried to say that that's the rebuttal to t-shirt logic. That's one of the worst things I've ever heard anyone try and attempt to do.
He had to make a really sharp exit.
That's got to be utterly embarrassing.
Was that his demonstration?
That's his demonstration that horizontal planes are not parallel. Because he doesn't understand what a horizontal is. He was drawing two lines on a horizontal plane. One north-south and one east-west. And then saying, look, these lines aren't parallel.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. It
was
plane,
wizardry.
and he drew a plus sign on it. And he said, "Look." That's it.
He attempted wizardry is what he was doing.
Well,
I mean, my understanding of the t-shirt logic is that we're talking about horizontal planes,
yeah,
not individual lines upon horizontal planes that can then intersect and be called not parallel.
Yeah.
So what he's done is reduced the argument from talking about that all of the horizontal planes are parallel down to looking at what you might be drawing or putting on a plane, and then saying because they intersect, then for some reason what we were talking about with the t-shirt logic is invalid. But he's changed the argument within the logic, hasn't he?
Yeah, like I said, like he could have drawn two circles on the plane and then said, look, these two circles aren't horizontals. It's like, because they're just circles on a horizontal plane. You know, his understanding of horizontals just...
Yeah, but his wizardry is to set your mind onto thinking that what we're talking about are horizontal straight lines being drawn on a plane, that's not what the argument is. The argument's being two planes being parallel, and then all other horizontal planes being parallel to each other.
Yeah.
So he's just performed a bit of wizardry to get your mind focused on a diversion, which is looking at what you might be drawing on a plane.
Yeah. I mean, this will go out, but this just shows that he didn't try and attempt the horizontal planes. Right? This man came up with his best attempt at a logical argument to show that horizontals are not parallel to each other, and didn't actually attempt to show that the horizontal planes are not parallel to each other at all.
Which is the core of the t-shirt logic.
The whole argument, yes. Horizontals.
So he didn't even address t-shirt logic.
Yep. Because the whole idea of horizontal being perpendicular to vertical. Vertical is a straight line. And through 360 degrees, it is established that the horizontal plane is established from the vertical, geometrically making it perpendicular to all verticals upon it, the horizontal plane, meaning they are all parallel. So, I mean, it will be shocking, because I would imagine it's not going to get a chance to put that out anywhere, and it will be us that get to put that stuff out. Do you think we should?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the rebuttal to t-shirt logic.
Third attempt.
Drawing a cross on the floor. It's like, show me a horizontal plane. Okay, I draw a cross on it. Ha 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 ha. These two lines that are on a horizontal plane shall be called both horizontal, intersecting. Because that's how horizontals are defined, aren't they?
If you enjoyed the content, please support On the Level and future projects. Membership subscriptions available now, or come and get involved at Next Level Discord server. Thank you.